sanctions on Russia.
More 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 sanctions on Russia.
My friends, you all know very well about our allusions and parallelisms established between the current situation and World War II. These similarities are countless, starting from the most obvious of the appeasement that Hitler has had in the beginning of that conflict, or even before that conflict. Kristallnacht was not the beginning of World War II. The annexation of Austria was not the beginning of World War II. It was only after Hitler had consolidated, after he had strengthened his hand, after he had one time tried to do a coup d'etat and failed. After all of that, all of those red flags, all of those warnings, eventually, people started realizing, well, maybe we can't negotiate with this guy. Maybe some people can't be negotiated with. Maybe some people just want to see the world burn. But alas, it was a little bit too late to solve the situation peacefully. We're lucky, very fortunate. The genocidal entities like Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union ended up losing in the long term. We're very lucky indeed. And there's this stupid example that people sometimes say, oh, you know, we would have been speaking German if this didn't happen. Idiotic, my friends. Speaking German is the least of your worries. The problem is the complete and utter lack of freedoms. The problem is that you will not be humans anymore. You will be animals, pieces of meat, ready to be sent to the slaughter, wherever Putin wills to send you. Without a single thing that you can say about it. How many videos have been received by us and by many people in the world of these mobbies complaining about the conditions of life in Russia in the special military operation, complaining how they're being sent as meat with a rusty Kalashnikov to fight against the Ukrainians? Has anybody heard their complaints? Has anybody actually listened to them? What did the HR department of the Russian military say? Nothing, of course. They either call them traitors or they simply ignore them. Because that is a country where human rights are inexistent. And my friends, we cannot be playing nice. We cannot be abiding by every single rule in the book. With countries like these, with entities like these, that rape and torture and annihilate.
You've lost already, mate. Ukraine's
Who lost? Who lost? Who lost?
Ukraine has lost.
Well, hold on then, explain why.
Because we can't compete with a massive nation.
We can't compete with a massive nation. Who's stronger? No, wait, come back. Don't go just yet. London, England. My friend, you seem to wear a very patriotic coat there. I like it actually. It seems very patriotic, but you don't sound very patriotic to me. You sound like you are appeasing. You sound like, oh, you don't have to be a patriot for Ukraine. You have to be a patriot for this country. And Russia is the enemy of this country. You would know that. No, it's not. It's not. Not in the First World War. Oh, okay. What about the Cold War? Was Russia not the enemy of this country in the Cold War? Oh, fine. What was the last war? The First World War or the Cold War? Oh, okay, you don't want to answer that, do you? So the last actual war that happened, Britain was against Russia. And have you ever... Oh, it's NATO, huh? Did NATO invade Ukraine, perhaps? Oh, okay, so who invaded Ukraine? Oh, Russia invaded Ukraine, so how is it NATO? Oh, they surrounded Russia. Okay, hold on. Was any country forced to join NATO? Oh, maybe not. Okay, you're a fun individual, you know. Well, at least you're being honest. I will give you...
Russia wanted to join NATO.
Russia wanted to... Okay, Russia wanted to join NATO. How do you join NATO? With a leader who is a complete autocrat. Oh, you're going? Well, don't go just yet, my friend. It was just getting good. It was just getting good, my friend. Why are you leaving? I mean, you have a strong opinion. You should spread it. Look, we stand here for freedom of speech. Unlike Russia. In Russia, you can't do this. You know that. And Russia, if you had seen, I invite you, I urge you to see some of the Russian television, and you will see how they speak of you guys, of Anglo-Saxons all over the world. They say the Anglo-Saxon race is the greatest evil that ever existed. But of course, you don't know this. You walk around with a London, England shirt, and you say Russia is not your enemy. They speak about creating a virus that will attack specifically the Anglo-Saxon ethnicity. But of course, you come here with a London t-shirt and you say Russia is not your enemy.
The CIA not put
The CIA?
many weapons labs.
Many weapons labs. Okay, weapons labs. Go on. I'm very calm.
Weapon labs.
Weapon labs, okay.
On that eastern border, which obviously is Putin off.
My friend, you need to get your conspiracy theories straight. It wasn't weapon labs. According to the Russian conspiracists, it was some sort of biolab where the Ukrainians were developing a virus to kill only the people with Russian genetic code.
I'm not saying it's a weapon. I'm not saying Ukraine.
That's the actual conspiracy theory you're mentioning. You need to look up, you need to inform yourself of your own conspiracies.
About weapons labs, not the
What weapons labs? What is a weapons lab? My friends, can anybody explain to me what a weapons lab is?
Wuhan.
Wuhan? That's a biolab, that's not a weapons lab.
Biological weapons lab.
Lord have mercy. Biological weapons labs. So Ukraine had a whole bunch of these biological weapons labs where they were developing a virus to attack Russian genes. They're still there, huh? Are they still there? No, hold on. This is a fun individual. I'm glad you stayed. You know, you're braver than most. Most people will see that they're kind of not making any sense and they'll just run away. They'll immediately run away. But you stayed here. I respect that. You know what I mean, my friends? Let me tell you something about this. Wuhan is an actual laboratory. There's actual proof of what was going on in Wuhan. And there's a lot of proof that shows that Wuhan has developed indeed the coronavirus. There's a lot of proof that says that. Now, is it certain? No, but it's a high likelihood. There is no proof whatsoever of the legitimacy of this conspiracy theory that supposedly Ukraine had a whole bunch of biolabs developing a virus to kill Russian genes. And you don't even know to do any research. You just need to ask this question to yourself. The Ukrainians, with a lot of similarities, genetic similarities to the Russians, how are the Ukrainians going to create a virus that kills only Russians? If a lot of the Ukrainians have a similar genetic code to the Russians, how is that going to happen? That's like the Americans creating a virus that only kills the British, but not the Americans. Well, who do you think the Americans are? My friend, this makes no sense. You need to do actual research.
Bro.
Yes. I am very naive. Okay.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
America, Britain has been influencing and has been creating weapons.
The West has denied Ukraine. Come on, guys, come on. This is a warm-up. They even turned off my microphone, man. One, two.
Russia is a terrorist state. Russia is a terrorist state. Russia is a terrorist state.
One, two. Can I please have my voice back? Can I have my voice back?
Stop Russia! Stop the war!
Stop Russia! Stop the war! Oh!
Russia! Stop the war!
Stop Russia! Stop the war!
Stop Russia! Stop the war!
Stop Russia! Stop the war! Thank you very much for giving me back my voice, my friends. Come now. I hope I did not indulge in my desire for debating too much. I hope none of you guys got bored or lost interest. I hope that didn't happen, my friends. In fact, I see some smiles, so I think there was some good entertainment going on here. Now, I engaged with an individual who was coming by us, funnily enough, who was wearing a London, England t-shirt, which is very funny to me, because he said that Russia is not his enemy. I guess he did not do any research whatsoever to see what Russia thinks of him. I mean, he certainly might not think that Russia is his enemy, but the Russians most certainly do not share that opinion themselves. For them, he is evil. For them, the Anglo-Saxon race is an inferior race, is an evil race that corrupts this world. That is what the Russians have been saying on their state-owned propaganda channels. Open your eyes, people. Open your eyes and you will see who supports you. You will see who admires your country's achievements. And you will see who loathes you, who wants you dead. Dead and gone. And your history erased. That, my friends, is what Russia wants. You know, in that picture where Stalin shows up with 3 guys, but then he had a little bit of an issue with one of them, and suddenly Stalin shows up with 2 guys in the same picture. That, my friends, is what's going to happen in the future if Russia wins. But no, Russia is not my enemy. They're not at war with me. They're not attacking my country. Well, not yet. Hitler was not attacking Great Britain. So why is it that Britain decided, and rightfully so, to intervene and to join World War II? Because they saw that Hitler was not going to stop. It's like an individual with a knife comes here and starts stabbing one person to death. So what happens? We help the person getting stabbed, we try to get the psychopath out of him? Or do we just stand around and say, "Duh, he's not stabbing me. I'm not being attacked right now at this very moment." So what happens then? The guy is running after you with a knife, but he hasn't reached you yet. He says, "I am going to kill you." And you say, "Well, the knife didn't hit me yet. It didn't pierce my flesh yet." And then when he starts stabbing you, and blood starts gushing out, you say, "Well, I'm still alive, I'm still not dead." And it all depends on the context. Nonsense. Absolutely insane. What kind of insane world do we live in? That a man who walks around in a London, England t-shirt says Russia is not his enemy. And then says, "Oh no, Ukraine is already lost. Ukraine is lost already." Well, I guess he's a big fan of Chamberlain. Who knows? Maybe he's his faraway grandchild or something like that. I mean, I'm not very well aware of whether or not Chamberlain had children. But that individual certainly has some things in common. But once again, I do respect the bravado, the sheer bravado of coming here and making a complete fool out of yourself. And just sticking to your guns. "Yeah, man, I'm gonna come out there today, I'm gonna make a fool out of myself." Truly, it fascinates me. It fascinates me to no end. But it's good. It's good. It's a good warm-up before tomorrow, my friends. And once again, I remind you all, and this is an important announcement, so I ask you for your attention for a second, my friends. Tomorrow, at 10:30 in the morning, we are going to go to the Imperial War Museum and counter-protest against the individuals who will go there to celebrate the Soviet Union, a genocidal regime that has, by the way, started World War II on the same side as the Nazis. In case anybody did not know about that then. They were only turning against the Nazis when the Nazis betrayed them and attacked them. Before that, they were trading with them. They were helping them. They were invading Poland together. That's what happened, my friends. Друзі, я б хотів швидко сказати українськомовним людям на цьому протесті. Завтра у нас буде контрпротест у Imperial War Museum у 10:30 ранку. Ми туди підемо, бо там часто збирається така вата, така смердюча дуже вата. Там збирається з такими червоними прапорами, з серпами і молотами. Серп і молот, смерть і голод. Отакі люди тут збираються. А ми туди підемо з ними поговорити трішки. Отак як наш тут друг в лапках прийшов до нас і трішки з нами хотів поговорити, так само ми поговоримо з тими людьми, з тими ватниками, з тими Z-зомбі, які прийдуть завтра в Imperial War Museum. Тому, будь ласка, якщо маєте час, якщо можете, прийдіть. Я вам чесно скажу, я не мав часу, я відпросився з роботи на завтра. На один день я відпросився від роботи, чесно кажучи. Так що, друзі, приходьте, буде дуже цікаво. А щодо людей, як ви бачили сьогодні, цей Лондон, England, чухан, бідна людина, не все в порядку з головою. Але я думаю, друзі, дуже важливо, щоб ви не боялися говорити з такими людьми також. Щоб ви їм сказали правду, все, що відбувається. Вислухали їх і потім відповіли на те, що вони кажуть. Як би це тупо не звучало, те, що вони кажуть. Є така поговірка. Ніколи не перебивай свого ворога, коли він помиляється. Коли вони щось дурне кажуть, коли вони всякі помилки допускають, ну що там їх перебивати взагалі? Вони самі себе угроблять, як кажеться. That's right, my friends. The announcement is done. So all of you are welcome to come with us. It's going to be fun. It's going to be very fun. Can't wait. You know, I feel bad that I didn't come in the previous few years to this 9th of May event. I feel bad, truly. You know, our friend Jan and Allison and Tony, you know, our friend Tony here, he's been there. He's been going there every year. They are proper veterans of counter-protesting against the Z-zombies at the Imperial War Museum. They know these people by the face, by the name, by everything, by their IQ level. It's so difficult, truly. It's a one-digit number for each of them. But my friends, I digress. We were talking about the similarities before we were slightly rudely interrupted by the individual with the London England t-shirt. Still can't get over the fact that he thinks Russia is not his enemy. Now that is funny. That is truly funny. Deranged, truly. Thank you, Anders. Deranged. That's a very nice word for this. But we were making comparisons between World War II and modern day. War between Ukraine and Russia. The invasion of Ukraine by the Russian terrorist regime. The biggest full-scale war in Europe ever since the ending of World War II, by the way, in case anybody hasn't noticed. There is one particular example I would like to mention today. We have heard that the ULEZ cars, the cars that are no longer useful because of ULEZ rules, are being sent to Ukraine sometimes. And that is very good, my friends. Because you need these cars. And I would like to draw a parallel between these ULEZ cars that are being sent to Ukraine, useless to the owners here in the UK, honestly, and what Winston Churchill has done back in the day, when the British troops were stuck in northern France, when they needed to be evacuated. He has passed a very important piece of legislation that would get any man with a ferry, any man with a boat, any man with anything that could cross the channel to go there and pick up as many soldiers as humanly possible. Now, my friends, we are facing a similar situation. Ukraine needs those wheels, Ukraine needs those cars, Ukraine needs all of that. That is why, my friends, I remind you all that the world has changed. But although history does not go in a circle, it goes in a spiral. And as another saying says, history does not repeat itself, but it rhymes. And it rhymes indeed. We got all the Chamberlains already jumping at us, screaming and shouting, "No, not my war, because they're not at my border." Well, I wonder what would happen if the British simply allowed Hitler to take over all of Europe and then take over Great Britain, piecemeal. I'm sure he would have a very good, juicy laugh on behalf of the British people and how stupid they were to commit that mistake of trusting him. But fortunately, the British people were not stupid. They have made the right decision, the right call. The call to oppose the authoritarian genocide individual who expands at any cost and who does not even try to look for a justification for his crimes. Now, does that sound familiar to you? Because if it does, congratulations. It's exactly the same thing that Putin is doing right now, with exactly the same kinds of arguments. In fact, we don't even have to go very far to find the similarity between Putin and Hitler. And this is not just a gush of hot air, my friends. This is reality. In his long James Bond villain speech with Tucker Carlson who claimed that it was an interview. It was like just a speech for Putin. Putin has said at the 14-minute mark that Poland had overextended and thus had provoked Hitler to attack them, had provoked the Germans to attack. That's what Putin said. The same individual who claims that he's denazifying Ukraine. And on the other hand, he starts shilling for Hitler and justifying Hitler's invasion of Poland. Now that is funny. It's a funny world we live in, truly. When people claim that the country that calls them the greatest evil on earth are not their enemies. When people forget about what happened in the past, although the same exact thing is happening now, we can see these similarities all over the place. Although the proof is all over the place, there are still those who prefer to not see it. There's a very old saying that goes like this: you can't wake up someone who is pretending to be asleep. And truly, they refuse to open their eyes. They refuse to see the truth. It doesn't matter how much you shake them, how much noise you make, they will not open their eyes. They will not see what there is to see, because they don't want to see it. It's not a matter of intelligence in this case. It's not a matter of information. It's a matter of will. Some people simply don't want to see it. Putin's regime does not want to see a pathway to peace. And that is why we can't negotiate with them. They will always omit it. The Ukrainians have accepted to give up parts of their land in the two Minsk agreements. And what happened afterwards? Russia has betrayed both of them.